Imagine waking up one morning in June 1816
To find snow covering your crops. Picture stepping outside in July to discover frost killing your harvest. What if I told you it was like that for an entire year? Summer simply disappeared. This isn't science fiction. This actually happened just over 200 years ago, and most people have never heard this incredible story. Our story begins not with missing sunshine, but with fire and fury. On April 5, 1815, just before sunset, a massive explosion shook the volcanic island of Sumbawa in Indonesia. Mount Tambora had awakened. But this wasn't just any volcanic eruption. This was the most destructive explosion on Earth in the past 10,000 years, the largest volcanic eruption in recorded history. For 2 hours, lava erupted from Mount Tambora, sending a plume of ash 18 miles into the sky. The immediate devastation was staggering. An estimated 90,000 people died on Sumbawa and the neighboring islands, most from starvation. But Tambora's true impact was just beginning. Here's what most people don't realize. The ash from this eruption dispersed around the world and lowered global temperatures. Mount Tambora ejected so much ash and aerosols into the atmosphere that the sky darkened and the sun was blocked from view. Think about this. A volcano on a remote Indonesian island was about to change weather patterns across the entire planet. The year 1816 became known as the Year Without a Summer because of severe climate abnormalities that caused average global temperatures to decrease by 0.4 to 0.7 degrees Celsius. That might not sound like much, but summer temperatures in Europe were the coldest of any on record between 1766 and 2000. What did this look like for ordinary people? The stories are almost unbelievable. In New England, May frost killed off most crops in New York, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont. In June, heavy snow smothered the ground in Albany. New England saw snow and killing frost, while cloud cover kept the skies dreary. A persistent, dry fog was observed in parts of the eastern United States. The fog reddened and dimmed the sunlight so much that sunspots were visible to the naked eye. Neither wind nor rainfall could disperse this mysterious fog. Even Thomas Jefferson noticed something was terribly wrong. He wrote, "We have had the most extraordinary year of drought and cold ever known in the history of America. To be alive anywhere in the world during 1816 to 1818 meant to be hungry." Across the globe during this 3-year climate crisis, harvests perished in frost and drought or were washed away by flooding rains. Crops were killed either by frost or lack of sunshine. This caused food to be scarce and made farmers who were able to grow crops fear they would be robbed. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a global catastrophe. The summer of 1816 led to crop failure, the death of livestock, and famine across Central and Western Europe and North America. It was called the last great subsistence crisis in the Western world. People had no idea what was causing this nightmare. Remember, this was 1816. No satellites, no global communication, no understanding of how volcanic eruptions could affect worldwide weather. Even brilliant minds like Thomas Jefferson didn't connect the dots between the Indonesian volcano and America's missing summer. Here's what makes this story so remarkable. Although a tragic event where tens of thousands lost their lives, the eruption was also an experiment of nature that showed us how interconnected our planet really is. One mountain's explosion reached across oceans and continents to change the daily lives of farmers in Vermont, families in Germany, and communities across the globe. It demonstrated the incredible power of nature and how quickly our world can change. The Year Without a Summer reminds us that our planet is far more fragile and interconnected than we often realize. Those who survived this little ice age witnessed the devastating impacts that just a few degrees of temperature change can cause. The next time you enjoy a warm summer day, remember 1816, the year the sun disappeared, and the world learned that even the weather isn't guaranteed. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.